All right, so you want to know how to take a beaver off the board really fast? You do this. Okay, but in all seriousness, this is the way that I deal with taking the beavers off the boards using staples. Okay, so this video here I want to primarily focus on the deboarding of a beaver that was put up with staples. Uh, if you guys want to know how to put up a beaver with staples, I've got a video. It's professional fur handling, boarding a beaver. You can check that out. But I get a lot of questions on, how do I pull the staples? Is it quicker than nails? Different things like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how I do it, and then I'll leave it up to you guys to make your decision. So a couple things I want to cover that I don't think I covered in the actual boarding video is what I use as far as staplers and why they are important in this process. So first thing first, whenever you staple a beaver to a board, you don't want to sink your staples all the way in. If you run your staples and you sink them all the way tight to the pelt, what'll happen is as that beaver dries, that little bit on the outside will want to have a tendency to curl up, and it makes it a real pain to take and pull the staples. So to get away with that, you use a stapler that's got a spacer in it, and so you leave your staples high and you've got something to grab onto. These are the two staplers that I use here. One is a traditional manual style, and the other one's electric. This stapler here has just a little bit more power than the electric gun, but it also, if you're boarding a lot of beavers and you can tell there's probably 200 staples in this beaver here, it's a little harder on your hands. So as far as the spacing goes, I use 9/16 staples. And what I've got for a spacer on this here is half of a clothespin, wooden clothespin. It's just perfect, sets the perfect gap to the staples. On my electric gun here, I've actually got the spacer that came with this manual gun that I modified to fit on the electric gun. Both work perfect. I'm leaving the staple up about 1/4 of an inch is about what I'm leaving it, and that seems to work perfect. As far as the staples to use, 1/2 inch minimum. I prefer these 9/16. These are Arrow brand T50 9/16 staples. I'm using Arrow staplers, so it works. That's to cover that part. That's very important in order to be able to do this halfway speedy and efficiently. Another thing is if you're dealing with staples, I staple my coons and everything else. If you guys can find yourself a little pair of pliers like this, these are some no-name brand, but they're squared off in the front. These things here just make it absolutely ideal to pull staples. Get yourself a set of them. I highly recommend that. So what I want to do here is I want to basically take this beaver and show you my process in taking this beaver off the board, and then I'm gonna get set up. I've got another one that's a big beaver. It's it's a double XL super blanket, and I want to do it in real time and show you guys basically how quickly that you can pull the staples out of a boarded beaver, because I get it a lot where it may be quicker to board them, but it takes twice as long to pull the pelt. Well, I don't think so, and I've put up beavers both ways. Also, I want to mention, whenever you're doing this, you really want to be very careful and make sure you get all the staples. For those of you who's viewed NAFA's new video that they put out with beaver, they actually discourage the trappers putting up beavers with staples. Now, I've got a couple top lot awards over there. The beavers are put up with staples. I actually like the way that the beaver comes off. I think the presentation looks a little better being put up with staples and nails. So they're not going to accept them, but I think the reason is you know, a grater, I don't care if you have the best pelt in the world, if you leave a staple in and that grater cuts his hand, it's not going into the top lot and it's not going in the second lot. It's getting pretty much downgraded. So if you guys do put up beavers with staples, you know, just be real adamant and make sure you get all of them. So anyway, I've got this piece of 1/4 inch metal rod here. Now, what'll happen is as this beaver dries, the hide will shrink a little bit, and in some cases it'll help you out and it'll almost start to pull some of the staples for you. So what I do is I get this rod here and I get it started under the pelt, and move that just a second. And all you got to do is just work this all the way around the pelt, real easy, and you won't tear the pelt because these staples aren't in there far enough. All right, so you can see how easy this pelt is coming up, the leg holes and everything else. Like I said, guys, I want to do this you know, just to show you, and then I'll throw up a beaver and I'll do it, you know, real time for you. But I just want to go slow and let you guys see. It's much easier if you get your beaver just like this, where he's all free. Now, by keeping that board out, all you have to do is go around the edge of this, and your staples, they pull right up. And all you got to do is just take them out by hand. It's real easy. Now, if you were to sink those staples all the way in, and that pelt would have curled up and around, then you would have had problems. You know, right here, for instance, on the legs, you can see right there the pelt, it curled up and around a little bit. So we'll take our pliers right here and we'll just extract those staples. And then you just go around and work it out, and you've got your pelt done. So anyway, I'm going to get set up here. I'm going to get it set up with another beaver. We're going to do it real time, and we're going to time it so you guys can see. All right, so here we have a super blanket beaver here. You can see he's out to the second to last line. The orange line is 32 inches, 32-inch board. So, you know, this is a big beaver. This is, you know, super blanket. So I'll get started here, and you guys can just see exactly how fast it is. And if you like nails, you can compare. But anyway, here we go. Like I said, the trick to doing this is to get the whole pelt off the board before you start pulling the staples. Now you can use staple rakes. I know they make them and everything else, but you know, this is just as easy. So there, the whole pelt's free. And now, because we didn't sink the staples in, now we can just simply go around the whole pelt and pull the staples. And if you just take your time, it's really not that difficult. You can see right here on the head, like I said, where you get the odd one that actually sticks in. And the head's the toughest part. Once you get around the head, it's pretty smooth sailing. And I'm telling you guys, whenever you see this pelt and You see it all done. It just looks so nice. So, like I said, I'm not trying to hide anything from you guys here. This is, you know, this is how I do it. You guys can make up your own mind however you want. But it's definitely not that tedious to do, and it's definitely not that time consuming, you know. And I'm not just chucking staples everywhere either, you know, making a mess. So, I mean, I'm sitting here putting them in this cup and keeping everything all nice and organized. I'm not trying to, you know, break any speed records. I'm just showing you guys how quickly you can put them up. Or take them off, as it were. But you know, you can buy these box of staples. Every once in a while, you'll catch them on sale. But you can buy a box of like 1,200 of them for under $5. So, yes, you know, you buy your nails once and you're done. But you know, the investment is not that much whenever you run staples. And also, you probably, honestly, if you use 1/2-inch plywood for your beaver boards, it's going to take a long time to have the outcome. So, anyway, that's everything there around the head. I will get around the leg holes here. I always put 3 in just to be safe. Always folding up so that way whenever you comb them, it comes out real nice. Like I said, the legs are sometimes the hardest just because that skin will roll up. So I've got this one right here, skin all that, but you can take and pull that staple out the back side. I've got one right here. Now, like I said, this is where you need to be careful and learn to really go over your pelt, because a fur grater will get you. So anyway, there he is. I mean, you can see I'm checking it. I don't know how fast that was. You know, couple 3 minutes probably. Now all we got to do is brush him out. We'll back comb him a whole bunch of times here, and he's ready for sale. You can see how nice, you know, that looks. That nice clean edge is what really. I don't know if it means anything to the grater, but man, it sure looks nice. Also, another big thing I hear, guys, is you can, you know, with the nails, you can actually raise the pelt up and let air circulate. I wash all my fur, and then I put it up. So, you know, this thing was run through a washing machine, basically. And it's, you know, I put it up. It's been stapled down. No fur slippage, no problems. I've never had a problem. You know, I put up several hundred beaver over the years and done them just like this. So, anyway, guys, hope you learned something. Hope it answered some questions. Till next time, thanks for watching.